Today, we're going to the Coochie Tunnels, a must-go tourist attraction if you want to know more about what happened in the past and why the South and Southwest Vietnam are home to many extraordinary things from people, places, to daily lives.
You're gonna have to switch. Goodbye.
Yeah, see you next year.
Oh my god.
This historical landmark is roughly around 45 kilometers from our home, and we are so happy to finally go visit it in person.
For our trip today, we still use our scooter to get to the place, but still be able to bring the sightseeing to the most authentic and personal level. 20 minutes into the road trip, we are able to leave behind all of the chaotic and frenetic environments with tons of vehicles and traffic and houses adjacent to each other on both sides of the road. Let's enjoy how magnificent and peaceful this route is.
Note that this site is located in a district of Saigon, aka Ho Chi Minh City. Before 2021, Saigon has a total of 24 districts, but now, since one of these districts has made its way to become a city, there are only 22 districts left. Just an interesting note that in English, the word district can be very general, but in Vietnamese, there are two types of districts: quận, for a district that's inside of the city, and huyện, for districts that are on the outskirts. On the way, Madi spots a sugarcane juice vending machine, so we are stopping to buy a drink and giving our scooter a moment to cool down.
From what she's doing, I think the math here is each sugarcane stick for each cup. After squeezing the sticks, she scoops some ice into plastic cups and pours in the juice that came out from the machine. As simple as that, we have two delicious, heat-cooling cups of sugarcane juice, all healthy and natural without any added sugar.
Drink a little bit. It's the spot. Look at the color.
Next time, if you see any of these on your way, give it a try.
Perfect.
At this point, we're completely out of the central part of Saigon and heading to the jungly yet so beautiful area. When in Vietnam, there are many means of how you can go around, but a scooter is definitely the most affordable and fun one. Because with only a few bucks, its gas tank can be filled full to ride for approximately 150 to 200 kilometers depending on the terrain and how heavy the total weight put on it.
And sometimes the exhaustion from sitting for too long on it makes everything so worth it and memorable.
So we're gonna visit two places. the one that has the tunnels, all of the tunnels with 3 different levels, and the other one which is about the area around where people are cooking and doing a lot of rural activities.
And are we gonna have a tour guide?
We're gonna have a tour guide, but he's not going to speak any English.
Ah, okay.
So when you come over here, you have 2 options of tickets. One is for Vietnamese people, and another one is for foreigners. And all the foreigners, when they come here, they have to understand English. Because I don't think that they can actually, the tour guide can actually speak any other languages rather than Vietnamese and English.
That makes sense.
For 2 tickets, 100,000 each. So the total cost is 200,000 for both of our tickets.
For nothing.
All right, let's go. So they have an electric car there, but in order to get on, and you have to wait until there are a total of 5 people, and you have to pay for tickets.
Yeah, no, it's probably worth it. No, I'm walking. After sitting on the scooter for so long.
Right.
Man, the view out here was nice though. Like, I have to admit, I really enjoyed it.
It's pretty good in here, right? The atmosphere, the air. The only thing that bugs me is the karaoke over there.
It's not even. We're gonna go far in enough that the karaoke won't matter.
Right. So to walk to the counter, I think, or the reception counter, you have to complete a distance of 1 kilometer.
That's not bad. At least that, you know, I'm saying that now, but it's really hot right now.
Oh, đi được luôn hả? Let's go, let's go. Mua vé luôn hả?
Đi tới cây số.
Ủa sao phải chờ đến 5 người mà?
Phải đủ 5 người để ăn chạy không có lời đó.
Cu Chi tunnels were used by Viet Cong soldiers as their fighting grounds during the war against the American Army. The underground systems started to be dug by hand in 1940 during the War of Independence from French colonial authority, and continued to greatly expand to be 250 kilometers long to serve as a stronghold for communication and supply routes, hospitals, and weapons caches during the Vietnam War. In this memorial park, there are used weapons, wrecked tanks, helicopters, and B-52 bombers are displayed to best give you an idea of how brutal and deadly this place used to be.
Ooh. We have a tiny little sticker the guy just taped on our shoulder.
Okay. Where do we go now? Just go straight?
Left.
Left? Okay. Did they mention, like, anything? Or we just get to wander around by ourselves?
No, we bought a tour.
Okay.
We bought a tour, so
Well, I guess my question is where do you meet your tour guide?
the tour guide.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm totally content with walking around by myself. And then make my personal tour guide read everything. Like the sign. What does the sign say?
The sign, ngã ba cây gõ, is an intersection. A 3-way intersection. Whoa.
Man, these leaves here are huge.
Are you serious? Look at this. This is like a field filled with a lot of bamboo spikes. This is so dangerous. Look at this. They're not real. Oh, so we're just gonna go like do it ourselves here? This is just an example of thousands of booby traps used by the Viet Cong to combat the enemy. This one is not balanced. So it's supposed to be balanced, right? And then if you step on either side of that trap, you're gonna fall into the hole that has a lot of bamboo spikes.
But you
down
remember
there.
on the other video it mentioned that the spikes were poison before?
Oh yeah.
This is like a slow death too.
Along with this type of trap, they also set up trip wires and overturned boxes of scorpions and venomous snakes. All of these are called guerrilla tactics that accentuate how brave, resilient, and resourceful the soldiers were. Right, instead of having a real person for our tour guide, we're just going around like this, and then we have the speaker as a digital tour guide.
Sweet. Oh, they got restaurants?
No, I don't think so. I think this is just a cottage that features how people here build their houses. So they have the straw roofing over there, and then all of the walls are actually made of clay. So they're gonna go to a specific area of the place and then get all of those sticky clay and then bring it back here, wet it up a little bit, and then just probably mix it with some dead grass or something in order to make up the walls. And this is probably all of the tools that they use to go around and fishing.
I know this one's a fish trap.
Right.
So the fish swims in here and then it can't get back out.
It's a fixed one. It's a fixed trap. That means you have to fix it or locate it in place.
Kind of like a net.
Now you see what it looks like when it is still on the tree. The squash. The squash.
Oh, that one!
Yeah.
I love that one. The squash is like really yummy. It's squishy and it's a little squishy, but it's good.
You know, the first impression that I have upon the place is the sense of the village. This is exactly what it looks like in a lot of villages throughout Vietnam.
Really?
Yeah, in the old years. So this place is an information kind of station. So people came here to keep themselves updated with information about the war, about how the community was organized.
I really like how they put all of the statues, or not statues, but the figurines, whatever you want to call them, mannequins. You can call them mannequins too.
Mannequins?
It really just like sets the tone for everything rather than just walking through and seeing the structures but not actually seeing any type of being. You know? It really just immerses you even further into the history.
Okay, there is something that I just saw that I really want you to see. Look down here.
This is very sneaky and tricky, right?
Exactly.
So if you want to go down to the tunnel, I think this is another place that you should go. Do you see the hole over there? That hole in that corner is definitely a hole that leads you down to the tunnels.
All hidden under a bed. So
Right.
this is used as what, a bed?
But this is how typically the people would build their house in those days.
Can't you see something like this now, just in older villages?
Yeah, so many of them. Still though, in the south of Vietnam, they use this one as an altar to worship their ancestors and also to put a lot of things, for example, fruits or foods on the altar to probably celebrate some special holidays such as Tết in Vietnam.
Just trying to make this place look as like natural as they can in order to, I think, really hide
all of the things that are going on.
Right.
Oh, also, really quickly, something that I saw is the differences in uniform. So the color differences.
Right.
So you'll see some of the mannequins or statues wearing green, and that's typically used during the day to really blend in with the surroundings. But at night, they would wear black uniforms.
This is a meeting. Like they're having a meeting with that radio, the engine radio, some water. And the cool thing is they use a coconut, like a dry one. And then after taking everything inside out, like the water and also the coconut meat, then now they have like a board, like a hollow space inside of this thing. And then they put a little bit of a cloth, a piece of cloth in here just to make the insulation a little bit better. So when they put the tiny little clay teapot in here, this whole thing outside is supposed to be keeping the teapot and the tea inside of the teapot very warm for as long as it can.
Oh, there's another section here.
My mom used to have one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My grandma does too.
That bamboo hammock over there looks so cool too. What is this?
I don't know.
It's a silo, babe. And they use this one to keep all of the rice that they collected or harvested inside.
Is it rice?
Yeah. Rice for the most part.
Although the war has passed for years, in many households in southern Vietnam, it is still very easy for you to see these close to nature and simple-looking surroundings. This is simply just how people live and enjoy their lives, parallel to the modernized and industrialized ones you often see.
Do you know what this one is?
What?
It's actually the black pepper tree. So it grows up like this and it can stand on its own. So they have to use the stem of a bigger tree because it can't stand alone. And it has to be growing up like this in order to give the peppers.
I see.
So for you guys in the West, you guys are like familiar with how you can eat all of the peppers when it is black or already dried. But in Vietnam, in a lot of the dishes, we use the green ones. When they're green, they're not actually spicy. Not just a historical site and memorial park, this place has more to offer. In the attempt to preserve and feature how people and the soldiers lived during the Vietnam War, you will see a replica of how they planted crops, some squash arches in front of the house, a few vegetables on the side, and lots of herbs that can be missing in a countless number of Vietnamese dishes. Of course, of all times, rice is a staple item of a Vietnamese meal, so we have a patch that epitomizes what a rice patty looks like over here. In case you didn't know, in Vietnam, the image of a kid being on a water buffalo playing the flute is thought of as a peaceful, stress-free, and desirable lifestyle that people have in an area. Along with all of the lush bamboo trees that form into groups sprinkling around next to the farming section, so that people can rest under when taking their lunch or having a tea break. Not only that, when coming here, visitors can also try out some of the typical foods that the soldiers and people would eat. Nothing that I don't know about because I grew up a poor kid, so I guess all of what people during the war ate were also what I ate. Oh, wait for a second. These are actually what we all still eat these days, and they are pretty good. They have boiled corn, they have ballots, some papaya salad, and also some wet cake.
Wet cake?
Wet
What's a
cake.
wet cake?
The one that we try to make in Canada. The one that we use rice papers, and then we wet it and then we steam it up. Remember those?
Oh, yeah. I like those.
Are you hungry?
Not yet. Lunch is not even close, I don't think. Oh, it is lunchtime.
It is lunchtime. Let's eat something real quick.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
What you got here?
I have no idea.
A mud stain?
Probably.
It's okay.
Oh well. Hear the guns.
You hear the guns?
Yeah. Good thing we brought these.
Yeah, so it took us a little bit of time to get to this place. And now it's around 12.
Lunch.
It's lunchtime, so we decided to stop and fill our stomachs with something. So for our quick lunch today, we're gonna have some balloons and also some boiled corn.
Is it sticky corn?
I think so. Corn. Right.
I'm gonna totally have corn stuck in my teeth. How much was it?
It's 30,000.
For corn?
30,000 per corn.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not plastic.
No, mosquitoes.
Oh, mosquitoes. I see.
I'm getting like eaten up already. And you're dripping.
It's okay. It's all good. You need to use the stem as
a handle?
as a handle.
It was just holding up too much liquid. Corn's tasty. It's corn, big lumps. It has the juices. Haven't you heard that song?
Corn doesn't have a lot of nutrition in it, but the good thing about it is it's gonna keep you full for a very long time.
Exactly, and so we won't need to depend on the snacks later on.
It's so peaceful in here.
I thought it would be busier, but then again, we came like in the middle of the day on a weekday.
Right. And this place is not that far away from downtown.
What do you mean from downtown?
Of the city. Because this one is also an area that belongs to the city. Right? So when a place like this, which is located inside of the city, but is more on the outskirts of the city, and you can already have this kind of peace, and it's pretty good for a quick escape.
That's for sure.
You remember how we rode our scooter? Basically through the jungle or forest in order to get to this place, right? Years ago, especially during the war, the Vietnam War, there weren't many roads. The roads that we were on didn't even exist. And then all of the houses on the sides of the roads, nope. There wasn't anything like the way they are right now.
Why do you think there is more now?
Because of this tourist attraction. So this place used to be a fully forested place. Not a lot of houses or people who were living around this area. Of course, there was some, but then because of the war, a lot of people, I mean the Viet Cong people, decided to locate their tents here. And this is their fighting ground, right? Because of the jungle, because of the forest. So they can actually make all of the tunnels and being able to be invisible when fighting the US Army at the time.
Exactly, because it's like, well, first of all, it's a completely new territory for the US Army. But not only that, the amount of work that they put in to dig the tunnels, and they did all of that by hand too. That's even more surprising.
Even though the US Army at the time equipped themselves with a lot of modern weapons and stuff, they have a lot of bombs and stuff, but you cannot sprinkle your bombs throughout this vast forested area, right? So having your location, having your tents or even your tunnels in this forest was actually really advantageous to the Viet Cong people. And if the US Army wanted to attack or wanted to shoot the real people down here without wasting a lot of weapons and bombs, so they had to walk on the land by foot. And that's why the Viet Cong people decided to make a lot of traps.
Oh yeah, like the traps we saw at the entrance.
They're so small.
Kumquat.
It's really hot. Be careful.
Okay. You know that because I'm a wussy.
Since we're pescatarians, when going to places like this, you have no options but having to eat a lot of eggs, including this. Last time we went to the coastal city of Vũng Tàu. That's why there's a lot of seafood. Not like this time. We're actually in a forested area, if not mountainous area. And seafood is not a staple here. So we have to make good use of what we have here. Balloons and boiled corn.
That like a black thing, right? I don't know what that is. David, get it off of you and get away from me with that thing.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
I don't know.
It didn't jump. It freaking.
Welcome to the jungle. Let's continue. We have another thingy here. Probably another hole as an entrance to go down the tunnel.
Oh, I got bit.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not going in. That is so small.
And Madi would love that one so much.
I don't feel like after the spider, I'm not going in.
That one is the biggest spider ever.
Get it. Oh, come here, come here.
Produce stand.
Whoa. I wonder how many of these are actually like authentic, coming from the war times, and how many of them are just like replaced replicas, you know? Oh, dude, there's a bike.
So some of the bikes that they had around the time of the war were actually made and imported from France, also Italy, and a lot of them came from Russia and China.
Dang.
I don't think at the time that Vietnam was able to produce or make this kind of bicycle.
Is this the type of bike that you had from your grandpa?
Yeah.
That you crashed?
Exactly. It looks exactly the same one.
Man. So cool. I got scared for a sec. So I wasn't expecting like anything as I'm coming in here, and then I take a step here, look to the left, and all I see is like are the little statues. And I'm like, ugh. Thought it was someone else. I don't know. What is this place?
This place is like a conference room to hold up meetings.
Why is there a white guy?
Is he white?
What else is it supposed to be?
I don't know. That's actually a very good question. Maybe he's a journalist. Look at the equipment. Look at the camera right here. Right? He has a camera right here. That means he's a journalist coming from the West.
Oh, there's a little thingy right here. 1963. That's all I can read. It was a white guy?
It was a white guy, and he was Australian. He came here in 1963, and he wrote a lot of famous, very well-known articles about the Vietnam War.
Oh, I see.
Phục vụ cho việc sản xuất nông nghiệp và người dân tham gia đào địa đạo, làm chung bảo vệ xóm làng.
If you walked through this area without the statues or the mannequins, you wouldn't really get full immersion. You wouldn't actually see how people were doing it. And that really ingrains in your head like what it took for the people here to fight and win the war. And seeing the living conditions and how hot it is already, it makes me wonder like how they were able to stand it. Like that's a lot.
And I don't know what else to say. but let's just put this one in perspective. So when the US Army came to this place, they used a lot of modern technology and weapon to fight the Viet Cong people. But the Viet Cong people, you know, in very close connection with the citizens here, they were just using whatever they had. And it was just like packing a lot of modern stuff and technology into a jungle or a very secluded place where you don't have any connection with Wi-Fi or internet.
It also like really paints the picture very well of the spirit and like the fighting power of the people here, right? So it's not just like men fighting, but there's women doing what they can as well. So that just further shows that when you unite and you pose a united front and you work together, you can overcome so many things. Just imagine, I know I've said this a few times already, but just imagine like if you're walking through here and there wasn't the mannequins. It would not have the same effect. At first, I was a little bit confused as to why they had the mannequins everywhere, but now I understand.
Not just the mannequins, but some of the display units can also tell some stories too.
This one is a school, and that's the Vietnamese words for school. Honestly, walking in this aisle really makes me feel like I'm actually walking in an authentic and real class. We have the teacher, and we have all of the attentive kids or pupils in this classroom. In Vietnam, the old school is very well known for the teacher holding a stick like this for two reasons. The first reason is that the teacher is going to use it to point at the words on the board. And the second use of the stick is that she's going to use it to punish the pupils who don't remember what she taught. Of course, she's not supposed to hurt them a lot, but just enough for them to learn their lessons. And on the sides of the school, the old school, you have one entrance over here because it's not safe for people to walk in the open like that, just the way that I walked in this school. But instead, they came here through these paths. This is one, located at the back. Oh, actually, there are so many paths for them to commute to this area. Look at this, the whole system. They're supposed to be deep enough, but for adults, I don't think that this depth is their height. So maybe they have to hunch over a little bit while walking in these tunnel paths. But this is just to give you an idea of how people go to places during the war. Hey babe.
Yeah.
I think we've seen enough of this farming and residential area. Let's go to the tunnels themselves.
Okay, yeah.
We have to continue this way until we get out of this area and then find the place that has the big airplanes. Alright, we have to get out of here and we have to find an area that has the airplane.
I'm not gonna lie, I read a little bit about how the war was and everything, but entering this area of the tunnels, I felt sad somehow.
They have to check your tickets again.
Okay.
Mình đi thẳng xuống hồ Trung.
Let's go back.
So the other place that we were at was the liberation area. Now we're gonna head into the tunnels. There's some funky growing trees here. Oh, ha ha ha. These are the air vents. They allow the air to flow through the tunnels, right? Let's keep going. There's some really weirdly growing trees around here. Like, they're all misshapen, but they're cool. I'm really excited to go down, but at the same time, I'm nervous about the bugs.
While waiting for the guide to come and take us around, we sit at this cottage cinema to learn more about the history.
Country has turned into a treacherous target for the Americans.
Turns out I was wrong when saying that the guide couldn't speak any English due to a mistake they made when we purchased our tickets.
Oh my god.
The first part is an example of the level 1 tunnel system. Of course, after the war, it was expanded a bit more for visitors to crawl through safely. Look at the walls to see how awesome these fighters were.
Oh, good.
Wow, this is definitely really steep.
You're gonna have to switch.
My backpack is a little too heavy to go through this.
I feel you on that. Oh man.
Remember, Vietnamese people are small.
And this is how you get down to the tunnels without stairs. Don't do it if you're claustrophobic.
I honestly don't want to do it.
Goodbye.
Yeah, see you next year.
Is this the bunker?
Yeah.
Alright. Thanks. Let's get up here and look at that. Those are the holes that you stick your rifle out. Enough for you to see if they're coming and you're gonna shoot at them. And the tour guide said that this one can fit up to 5 people.
The second one is a lot darker as it's deeper under the ground.
This is the end. And we have another hole to get up.
Yeah.
And this is where you get out.
Go up. Two hands.
There was a giant scorpion down there.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it crawl back into a hole, but I saw it. It saw me.
Man.
Oh,
Man.
I didn't want to go past it. It crawled
Oh, down
I had
there.
to go past it, yeah.
Oh man. You're completely covered.
I'm feeling smothered.
Thanks for being the sacrifice.
With this next one, I get to see a small area that resembles what the Viet Cong's underground hospital looked like. And this is insane because just imagine how many wounded they had to bring down here and treat in a super narrow and dimly lit tunnel like this.
We have another one to get down.
Now we go around.
Right.
So then we come in.
Another one. What's down there?
It's just another tunnel.
Another tunnel?
Unlike all of the previous ones, this is leading us to the example of what it looks like in level 2 and level 3 tunnels. Here, we get to see the operation and meeting room of the Viet Cong.
What is that?
What kind
Oh,
of
okay. Oh, look at that. It's tiny.
And heading to the deepest tunnels.
Smaller and steeper. This one is rough. Oh, be careful, be careful.
Careful up here, you guys.
Be careful, the surface here is not level.
Oh my god.
We take the left turn and then we keep going until we hit this one. Yeah,
lên không nổi.
That they were talking about in the video.
repurpose sandals.
Yeah, you wear them one way and then, right, you can put your foot this way and it makes it look like you're walking in a different direction than the sandals are. Makes it hard for tracking. Jim?
Are you serious? Do you really want some ice cream?
Jim!
Alright, and let's get you some ice cream then.
I'm tangled. I'm happy and content now.
You wanna go there? Okay, so this one is not religion or Buddhism related. It is more about a memorial for all of the dead Viet Cong people. One of those prisons, but in a different location. And it's called a special prison. So special prisons are for special people. So those are the people who probably held a pretty high ranking in the military of the Viet Cong. They knew a lot about the system and they knew a lot about the idea that they fought for, because those are the people who learned a lot from Ho Chi Minh, and in order to get information they have to have a special prison for them so that they can use all of those special punishments and tools and tortures. Yeah. A little bit. Tiny little one.
After leaving the temple, we get going to ride home. The sky becomes darker and there's a high chance of rain. So we need to suit up with a raincoat.
While riding us home, I discovered something personally fantastic.
1,000 kilometers since we bought the scooter.
After a long trip to the tunnels, we finally get home, and to be honest, riding the scooter home makes me already exhausted. But let's ask. How are you feeling?
I'm ready to go to bed.
Take this off.
I'm ready to go to bed. I was falling asleep on the scooter.
Was it fun though for the trip?
Yes it was. Even though it was really hot and I got claustrophobic at one point, but other than that, it was great. I do want the one that's dipped with the rice.
Yeah, don't have that. It's time to recharge, time to eat, and it's raining outside, so I guess we're lucky. We just got back home in time.
It's raining good.
And we also had enough time to take a shower, and then we came back out for our dinner because we were both exhausted and very hungry. So we decided to go to a very good restaurant that has a lot of eel dishes, and I just ordered a noodle soup bowl with eel in it, and another one is also made of eels, but then we're gonna eat it with the Vietnamese crackers.
That one is delicious. I've already had that one before, but I'm still looking forward to eating it again. So we have eel with teochew leaves, and then you dip it with the rice cracker. Nothing special, just break it apart.
Well done.
The teochew leaves bring like a really great freshness to the dish.
It's super good. It hits the spot.
Especially after a long day like what we had. Perfect. Subs.
Madi originally wanted to get some Vietnamese sandwiches or sub, but then I told her, like, the moment I told her we were gonna go to this restaurant, she said, oh yeah. The idea of getting the bánh mì or the Vietnamese subs just kind of vanished in her mind.
Not really.
Oh, really?
No.
Wow.
Subs are only like on the top of my head. Really does with this spot.
And this concludes our trip to the Cu Chi tunnels. If you ever visit Saigon, carve a little bit of time out of your itinerary to come visit this place.
Breathe in some lime to make it better.
There's only so much we're able to express through this video, and it's definitely worth experiencing this for yourself.
This one's my favorite. Save me a bite. Relax, okay?
And if you want to have the most authentic and personal feel on the way to the tunnels, don't forget to rent a bike and do what we did in this video. And if you enjoyed our video, don't forget to give us some support by liking this video and also subscribing to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our future adventures.
Bye, and we'll see you in the next one.